Hello, everyone. Welcome to this ministry channel. I'm your host, Kevin. There we go. That's a better way to do it. I'm going to cover three things today. The main one is we're going to talk about rat routes on Ride with GPS and how to discern which ones you need to go over. We're also going to do a quick update on price increases for Clubs Ministry memberships. And one silly little thing I want to touch on here. We'll probably do a separate video that goes a little bit more in depth on it. Maybe some of you have picked up on it already, probably not. I'm about to drop another one of these videos. I kind of want to explain a little bit about the project that I'm doing. It's completely a vanity project. Vanity's not quite the right word. To help allay some confusion, I have a fiction writing background that after a couple big raps on my head went away, and the fiction part of my brain is starting to work again. So I'm trying to put that out there, and I'm going to utilize YouTube to facilitate that, but we're also going to combine it with Spinach. I know it's crazy. We'll talk about it in its own dedicated video. Basically, if you see a Spinistry video and I introduce myself as Lee Ryder, that's fiction. And there will also be a text blurb. Hi, welcome to the Spinistry channel. I'm Kevin. Thanks for joining us. Just a quick update on membership price increases for Club Spinistry memberships. We said they were going to go into effect after September 1st, and that is very true. We did actually already raise the prices on the steel level memberships. I've held off for the time being on increasing the prices on the carbon and titanium because we haven't put all of our pieces together for the coming season this fall and going into the spring to help explain the value of those higher level memberships going forward. I don't think it's fair to raise those prices yet without actually showing what the value of a higher membership price is, if that makes any sense. Here's the short version. Basically, carbon is mostly intended for racers, so that going forward, our timed events will probably have a premium charge for steel level members, maybe $25 if they want timing, awards, and trophies instead of just outright free. But the carbon level members will also get the timing option as free. If steel membership is $125 a year, and I think right now carbon membership is $175, I think at the moment, but that's supposed to go up to $225 or $250. The idea is if you're a racer and you're going to do 4 races of ours each year, it probably makes sense to get carbon member and get your events free. But we don't have all those pieces yet. So it's not fair to start charging a higher price, is my opinion. And along the lines of the titanium memberships, we haven't put the pieces in place to justify a higher titanium price yet either. We want to sort out the chef's kiss model where that makes more sense for everybody involved, how to make that work. And we want to do some supported and semi-supported rides and multi-day rides and trainings and things like that. But those pieces aren't in place yet. So that hasn't come. Here's the main core of this video. Let's talk about the rat routes on Ride with GPS for folks that are doing this year's rat. If you sign up and are part of this year's rat, you already have access to these routes. They do say 2024 Rat 1000 and mini rats because there hasn't been any change to the route. And we don't forecast any changes to the routes. Realistically, until we have people go over them, we don't know if things have changed substantially. This is the one year that I don't recall anyone doing an early solo attempt at it. Usually every year we have a couple people that try it in the spring, maybe 1 or 2 that try it in the summer, and we get some feedback on if there's any issues on the route. That said, we set what we call the permanent route several years ago. This really hasn't changed since then, just some minor tweaks here and there, and we expect that for this year as well. We have a plethora of routes down in here that go over all the different options. And I'm going to explain to folks what these different things are and which routes they should be utilizing for themselves and why if they're doing this year's rat. There has also been a change on Ride with GPS's and for how these event layouts work. This screen looks different than it has in the past and the way things are laid out. And possibly some of the functionality is changed as well. I'm going to reload the page. There we go. So this shows all the different routes here. Usually you had to toggle a show all routes. So this is all the different permutations and variations of the routes on the left-hand side. What I want to walk through is what are these different routes and which ones should people be using? There's a note here that talks about it on a very general basis, and hopefully it explains it to everybody. But the first one is it's labeled 2023 full rat, not for navigation purposes. Let's go ahead and click on that. So this is the full route. This is the 1,000-mile route right here. This is an accurate route. It says 2023. That's the last time we updated this master route. This should be accurate. The reason we say not for navigation purposes is the downloaded file is just too big. The navigation computers cannot handle this file. It may let you download it. It may let you load it onto your computer. It may say, hey, you're following this route. And at some point, your computer just says this is too much to deal with. That's why we say do not load the full 1,000-mile route. Don't load that into your navigation device and fire it up and use it day to day. Everything else after that, it's different segmentations of the route. And we've broken it up a couple of different ways. Here's the three main ways it's broken up. One is what we call the ITT self-supported routing. And I believe this is generally 150-mile chunks. We set it up that there's no perfect way for us to say, oh, well, every rider is going to ride this. Everybody does the rat differently. So we don't know if you're going to ride 50 miles in a day or 300 miles in a day or where in between. So we consistently went with these ones that are labeled ITT Rat 1, Rat 2, and then they have song names. That's a different thing. That's part of our cross-country route, which the rat is a part of. ITT Rat 1, ITT Rat 2, that is going east to west on the rat, roughly 150-mile segments. I believe they're set up to begin and end at towns, which is why they're segmented, not exactly 150 miles. It tries to segment at a town. So if your routing is taking you beyond the end of this segment today and you need to start another segment, just be sure to have both already loaded onto your computer, have multiple rides. If that's a concern of yours, my recommendation is if you know how to do it, take the full 1,000-mile route and parse that out for yourself into the segments that are going to be mileage appropriate for yourself. But that takes some technical skill on your end and knowing how to do that. With GPS, you may have to subscribe to Ride with GPS to have that editing functionality. The easiest way to do it is slightly larger chunks are 150-mile-ish each, and ITT routed east to west, all right? That's one variation. We do have another variation of that. Let me see. It's basically the same routes, but reversed for people doing it west to east. So Rat 1, west to east, Rat 2, west to east, Rat 3, west to east. The numbering coincides with the east to west one. So you're going to want to start with 7, then do 6, then do 5 if you're going west to east. I don't think anyone's doing west to east this year. If you're doing solo, self-supported on the rat this year, you want to download these ITT rat routes. If you're going east to west. If you're going west to east, please touch base with me and let me know if you plan to do this. Clear as mud. So those are the two variations for solo self-supported that are hoping to log an official time for the rat if they complete it. That's solo self-supported. Do it on any schedule that you want to. 5 miles a day, 500 miles a day. I don't think that's humanly possible, but who knows? The third variation is what I think is best for most riders to shoot for that are planning to do longer days. If somebody's wanting to do it over the course of 2 to 3 weeks or even a month, break it out however it works for you. If you're trying to do it in the stage schedule works pretty well. The 8-day stage schedule seems to be the kind of the sweet spot. It's closer to 125-mile day average than the 150-mile day average. A lot of our ITT riders go out guns blazing and try to do 200, 300-mile days to start off and throw those into the mix. So they get their feelings hurt having to put in a route that's planned for 125 miles a day. I'm kidding. So for our stage riders, you want to do these stage routes. Stage 1, that's Saturday. Stage 2, Sunday. Oh, look, they're even labeled with the day of the week. This is where the stage riders, if they're following the stage schedule, will be each day of rat week. Saturday is Texarkana to Paris. Sunday is Paris to Denison. This is the segmentation that makes the most sense for most people wanting to do the rat. We've seen more success people following this schedule than any other specific schedule. People trying to be more aggressive, it's a much higher failure rate. I'll just leave it at that. So hopefully that clears up some confusion there. Now I'm going to throw in the real confusing part, but I want people to listen closely. We also have what we call our La Ruta Suave routes. And what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the bad news first, just because I want to make sure it's crystal clear. If you end up utilizing one of these alternate routes for a day, you will not be able to log an official time for completing the rat. You will have technically gone off course, but if you're time constrained and you cannot wait out mud conditions, wet conditions, that's kind of what this is intended for. These are basically paved bypasses. I want to say I put these together. It says May of 2022. I'm pretty sure I put these together before then. That's probably the most recent update to them. I want to say it was 2019 or so when I put them together. Maybe 20, maybe even 18 actually. But anyway, shush. No, ma'am. Crazy dogs. This is for people that don't want to have a 0 day, but still want to get all the way across the state. If it's too muddy, you can take these paved routes and keep going, but you're not going to be able to log an official time. The intent was, and this lines up with the stage route timing as well. The original intent of this route was we were going to offer a paved version of the rat side by side with an unpaved version of the rat. The La Ruta Suave is your wet weather go-round route, but it does not allow you to officially register a time. If you want to keep going, you can go on the pavement when it's too muddy. And trust me, when the rains fall out west, it's too muddy to ride. There's no way around that. You either take a 0 day or you take a paved bypass. Hopefully that answers any questions, allays any confusion there. And thanks for joining us. Again, keep an eye out for those rider prologue videos that we'll be dropping. And I will give a more in-depth overview of what that project's all about. I labeled it as a vanity project, but I really don't want it to sound that way. But I'm not in it for vanity. I'm in it because I don't have any choice. I wish the long run idea is to get talent to play the part. It's a lot of moving pieces. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of coordinating schedules. It's not viable now, but I got to get this story out. We'll talk more about that in the next video. If this didn't answer your questions, send me a message, leave a comment, whatever it takes. We'll see you out there. Go ride your friggin' bikes.